Allah atiya Rasulullah ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, ana abduka al-ajizu da'ifu miskeen zalim jahad. And but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence. Alhamdulillah that the holy month of Surat al-Kahf and the month of Safar, the reality of entering into this cave of hayat, this cave of safety and rahmah and mercy. And one of the examples from Ashab al-Kahf that every year is always an important reminder for myself is that the sleepers, when they were going to leave the oppression of their authorities, so we see how similar this is in this world, that they were in a high status with the status quo and those whom were in authority, and the authority began to say that, you have to worship us, you have to worship me. Their ruler said, he is a god. And similar to what's happening upon this earth, left and right each person is saying that they're awaiting a human who is a god, and their all seeing eye and all of their symbolisms is that their authority, their power is all seeing, omnipresent Dajjal. They are not omnipresent, maybe through technologies and computer softwares that are trying to imitate the omnipresence of the Divine Creator that is everywhere, hears everything yet has no ears, sees everything yet has no eyes. Means trying to replicate the Divine is a satanic jealousy, and as a result of the world in which they lived in, they were inspired by Allah, run to the cave. Means leave that which they worship and run to your Lord's rahmah and mercy, and specifically run to receive your mercy, and that your Lord may shower His rahmah and mercy upon you. And if we stay, we're going to fall into that difficulty, and this is the secret of a'udhu billah, and this is the secret in our life, that we have to seek refuge. The system of the material world, you can't just say it's okay. You can be in it but have to have trained in which how to keep our heart in the Divinely Presence, seeking refuge at all times from everything around and every oppression around. And in 60. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Directions, what is attracting me, and to keep myself in that Divinely Presence. So our cave is within our chest, and if we get lost by the outside distractions that are completely distracting and have no inner core balance that anchors us, because it's not walking from it, because we've said that before, because people will be hypocrites and say, oh Shaykh, why do you then have a nice outfit and why are you on the internet with an iPhone? It wasn't about leaving the dunya, because this is not the time where we run to the mountains with the goat and have the milk. that Allah is giving to us, you have to be in the dunya. You have to exist within the dunya, you have to provide for your family, your homes, and that becomes the challenge in life, is to live in a candy store and control the candy that you eat. Means live in this dunya and control the desire and attraction of this dunya. And the only way that's achievable is when we train on how to run to our heart. So Surah al-Kahf, the reality of 18 and the reality of hayat. Because this hayy and this reality of the ocean of life, the eternal fountain of life that everyone has been seeking, all ascetics and Gnostics and spiritual people want to reach the fountain of life. That fountain of life is coded for us to enter into the heart, and that's why we showed in the lettering it says 18 on the right hand, and somebody put 81 but it shows you right here is 1 and the upside down triangle is 18. We've been stamped with 18. Awliya come into our lives and begin to teach us that that 18 represents the oceans of eternity, that represents this reality from the sultanate that you're from the people of the cave. At least you should be aspiring to be from that reality, and God has given to each man one heart. Said, I've not created men with two hearts. Means you can't love everything and you can't put your heart into everything, and you have to choose what you want to put your heart into. If it's going to be the dunya then it becomes something temporary, because dunya ends, you die and that was all that you invested in. Tariqahs come and teach us that, why don't you invest in something that's eternal, that everything you do for it you will take for all of eternity. If you invest in a stock market, what happens when you die? Somebody else takes your stocks, you're not taking it for eternity. But when you invest in your soul, your good character, your actions and your deeds, that investment pays you for all of eternity. So means then they understood that I have to seek refuge in the cave, I have to run to the cave. So my heart is the cave. The safety of my heart is if it's filled with the love of the Divine. And how do we achieve the love of the Divine? Because everybody says, okay I'll put the love of the Divine, and then according to who? Am I allowed to eat pork? Am I allowed to drink wine? Am I allowed to do all these forbiddens, harm people, abuse people, everything people could imagine that they want to do by their own desires? So he said, no, my heart has to be filled with the love of the Divine. According to who? According to Luke, according to Paul, according to Mark. Oh, everybody came and said, no, I can't really trust those authorities either. According to Nabi Musa look like those people are harming a lot of people in Nabi Musa's name. So according to who are we going to run into a cave filled with the love of Allah? And that's why a lot of people come and say, why you talk a lot about Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, we understand you love, but and then? But it's the only guidance to Allah. So we want a cave filled with Divine. So everybody wants the love of God in their heart, but according to who? And that's where people are finding corruption. I wanted the love of God and I got these crazy teachings. So what awliya come and those been trained by saintly and pious souls is that we want the love according to the Prophet Muhammad, which is ageless, timeless and not been tampered with. They can come and say, oh there's versions of Qur'an but they have no mind, and those are called qiraat. There's only one Holy Qur'an and 7 to 14 ways of reciting. Based on its recitation brings different realities. But not even that, every letter of the Holy Qur'an has thousands of interpretations. That only means that the Holy Qur'an is infinite in its capacity to expute or bring out Divinely knowledges, because it is the fountain of Divine grace. And as a result we want to enter into the cave of the Divine love according to Sayyidina Muhammad, ageless reality and what Allah defines in Qur'an, a truth. This reality is created in truth, this reality only speaks the truth, and this reality is a gateway to the Divinely truth. And as a result they come and begin to teach us, then keep the love of Sayyidina Muhammad and enter into your heart. And as you meditate and contemplate is the only way to enter into the heart. That which we seek is not outside. So when people don't teach people how to contemplate, how to make tafakkur where your focus is inside on the light. Which light? The light of Prophet. Last week we described the reality of the colour green. Wear the colour green, within your homes have something from the colour green, and as you're making salawat and durood, people who are wondering, it's praisings upon the Divinely reality which is the praising upon Sayyidina Muhammad by the command of Allah Almighty that verily Allah and His angels pray and praise upon the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad, and that praise is by mentioning God, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. That praise and all its variations are the beatific hues of green. Imagine infinite on the spectrum of green, infinite, and every praising is a manifestation from our heart and begins to bring this green light all around us. That is the light of that cave. So when the servant sits to meditate and contemplate, begin to breathe that the focus is not outside, the focus is inside. And as a result they begin to make their salawat, because in this meditation or many different meditations, breathing, contemplating, doing your salawat, doing your awrad, because you're in a cave. So like many people they live within their cave. When they begin to sit in their cave reality within their heart, as soon as they begin to make salawats, this beatific green light encompasses them. As a result that light is a protection, a nourishment, a blessings, and it diffuses with their spectrum of light. If your frequency is low because of negative energy, if your frequency is low from sickness, if your frequency is low from work and cross-contamination of other people, because light gets quickly contaminated. Imagine you have a beatific white outfit and you sit amongst the people that have all wet mud upon them. Anything they touch and move, no fault of their own, that mud splashes all over you. So the sins of men are like a mud, like a black sludge. So when we make these salawats, this beatific light begins to diffuse and clean our light. We become of a greenish light reality. As soon as you end the meditation, shaitan wants to take that away. So even somebody sit for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, they feel a beatific energy, shaitan's whole job is to take that light away because now he's upset, he's watching. Because when you're running to the cave he was chasing you. As a result, when you sit and meditate and make this energy, if you're strong you go back, you keep it. You understand, oh he's going to now try to take it. How will he take it? You do wrong, you speak wrong, you act wrong. So he makes somebody call, make you angry, boom, he pulled it. Make you say something incorrect, bad, inappropriate, gossiping, he pulled it. Every possible scheme is his life's purpose. His agents and minions whom are all around us, this is their only goal. Because if you keep that light and by night time you sleep with that light begins to infuse and diffuse within you that beatific light. And then night after night, night after night, night after night, what happens? Your green light becomes very powerful. It's trying to build up to be from the fountain of youth. And shaitan's only role is to pull that light. So with everything that comes to us after zikr, after majlis Sali al Nabi, or those watching at home and feeling beatific energies, as soon as it's finished, shaitan's job is bring anger, bring a fight, bring some sort of difficulty, some sort of argument so that I can pull this light from that servant. Some may on their way home lose it, they couldn't even keep it 5 minutes. Some may take hours or days. And those whom are firm on the tariqah, they try to keep it day after day after day after day. And those are the ones whom keep their hisab. We said they know, they say, oh my account is low, I give my sadaqah, I give my hasanat, I do my good deeds, I did my khidmat, my service, everything, so my accounts are fully stacked high. I meditate and bring this light, all this goodness I'm going to take from this night into the morning. And they sleep on goodness and they wake more powerful than the day before. But if shaitan hits them in the night time, they empty and wake up empty again. And that's why they come back. It's funny because they come back in the emails, oh I'm doing this for years and I feel nothing. What that tells us is your bucket has a hole. You're bucketing and telling me, I'm not getting anything. I say, I know, but I could see you have holes in your bucket and every time you think you're putting the water over there it's empty. Your bucket is empty, you're just sort of playing and pretending that you're shoveling water. So everything is logical. If every night we keep the light and keep the practices, keep the blessings, keep the khidmat, it's obvious by morning you're more powerful. So when late night you feel a desire to fight, to start nonsense communications and discussions, it's from shaitan. You say, no it's not, you always say it's from shaitan. I said, no, it's from shaitan. That's not the time to talk, that's the time the shaitan wants to pull the green light. Now what's the example of not mentally well people? They do the same thing all the time and they expect a different result. And that's why then, oh, you're mentally not well. What are you doing that? Why do you keep doing that? Why do people want to discuss anything at night? It's not your cleverness, it's not even your idea, it's nothing from the heavens. Heavens, they give their sohbat, go to bed. Watch some TV to ease your mind, go to sleep. But shaitan is not comfortable with that because why? So we're giving you his game plan. Because if you wake with this light you're more powerful than the day before, then he has to hit you even harder. So what happens? By night time he has to pull the light from people. So this is a immense reality that awliya know, they know his system. That's why they give these talks but people hear it and they absolutely don't listen. They feel, no, that's the time to discuss things, no that's this, no this, you don't know what you're talking. We know exactly what we're talking about. That is the time, the witching hour. Why they call witching hour is that shaitan has to come out, he has to pull the light from believing people and he has to damn the people whom are headed towards punishment. And those are the people you see going out and drinking and going to clubs and partying. Because the night time is when he wants to curse everyone. Those whom are in trouble they're already going deeper in their burning because they're never inspired to stay home and have a nice movie and go to bed. They feel they have to go out, there's missing something. And those whom are pious, shaitan's purpose is, I have to pull their light. And immediately people start to get in discussions and debates and talks, and here comes their anger and all of the garbage begins to be lost. And all the green light is pulled from the hearts of people. Our life is to enter that cave, to achieve the light of that cave and the reality of that cave. And if we're not able to keep the Muhammadan haqqaiq and the entryway to that reality to be from the people who will eventually achieve the light of Ashab al-Kahf. These are Muhammadan awliya inside that reality, and they want to dress the servants of that reality. And as they're trying to understand and how to draw near to make their salawats, to keep their green light, they're reminded of a dog who accompanied these men. That as they left oppression and moved towards the cave of safety, Allah had inspired their dog that was very loyal to them to come with them. And as the dog was following them, they were scared that if we're going to go and hide, this dog is not going to hide, he's going to give us away. As soon as something happens we'll stay quiet, the dog will start barking, he will give away. So they began to get little pebbles and throw it, telling the dog, shoo, go away. Until they threw the pebbles they wanted to throw, and Allah inspired within the dog the ability to get on his paws and begin to speak to them and said, no matter what you throw I'm not stopping, that as you go to serve your Lord that I will guard your cave and I will be of service to the Divine. And they have variations of this narration which is not important because the message is important. That which we think as a lower creature, because it's not the nobility of humans, it's a creature walking on four feet. That God giving to that creature a noble task to guard the entryway of those whom are truly trying to serve their Lord. That's why the shaykh inspires within people, look, our way is to become sleepers of the cave, submit, reach the light, fill yourself with Muhammadan haqqaiqs, but you're kinda under satanic attack all the time, so you're not there yet. As a result, Allah gives to us that you can be like this dog, because the dog isn't a clean animal but it had achieved by its service an immense station, that it achieved a paradise reality. So if there's a dog in paradise, then the dog of Ashab al-Kahf was the first admission of a reality that would enter into paradise because of its service to Allah's servants who were serving Allah. So service to Allah's servants gave a dog paradise. What about the blessed human whom Allah describes, لَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam, that you are my noble creation. So when people come and say, why you do this, why you do that, I said, because if God is going to give paradise to a dog because the dog served the servants of Allah, then imagine the rahmah for a human being whom serves the servants of Allah. Because people with big egos, they think they are the servant of Allah, that I'm going to go become a sleeper of the cave. But you have to start more humble and say, why don't I help one of the sleepers of the cave or those whom are trying to serve Allah, I will serve them. I will learn how to live a life of khidmat until I become one of them, and that's something different. But it gives us the opportunity in the reality of tariqah. Tariqah is then come, be like that dog, live a life of service in which the dog had enough of a character to say that, if you throw rocks at me I'm not stopping. He didn't say, if you throw another rock at me I'm going to now bite your hands off. He could have said anything. He could have said with vengeance, Allah could have given a tongue, one more rock I'm going to now attack you and go for your jugular vein. Because this is what humans are like, there's something they don't like, immediately they're on an attack mode. But tariqah comes and teaches, no, if you want to be from this reality then you have to be better than a dog. If the dog was able to be trained by the Divine, don't attack the master, don't attack the shaykh, don't attack the servants of Allah. As soon as you attack you're less than the dog of Ashab al-Kahf, you're less than a dog. Don't think you're even human, because the dog was able to achieve an immense loyalty. That's why the entryway of Ashab al-Kahf is loyalty, because they say you have to be better than a dog, loyal like a dog. And if something is thrown at you, don't say anything, don't attack, don't open your mouth to say anything to them. When we were in tariqah, when we accompanied our shaykh, and if something happened and he said something in a talk and I knew it was like a direct thing, one time I was going to say something, ask him like, what is like meant by this? He just looked at me and said, shut up. And I looked at him, says, don't ever come to me with any bad thought that you want to now get clarification on, just shut up. And he was very blunt to me because nobody was around, and I had never heard him say that. But he was stopping me from crossing a line that was a big fall, because I wanted to question something, I didn't understand what was that about me. And so I learned very early in my tariqah life, there's a line you don't cross. Doesn't matter who you think you are, what relationship you think you are, because I was the brother-in-law to the shaykh, the son-in-law to the shaykh, it meant nothing. Those relationships mean nothing to Allah, because they die here. Only relationship that means anything to Allah is Are you a murid and a student of Prophet? Are you trying to achieve something for your soul? That's a higher station than somebody's title in dunya, or even they don't have a title and they want to open their mouth. The reply from the shaykh was, "Shut up." And immediately I knew in my heart, oh, this was something very dangerous, and don't ever take that line, don't ever go. Patiently went home, asked tawbah and forgiveness in my heart. That I don't how I went to that point to even try to ask something. And later in a talk the shaykh gave another sohbat later and said, "Don't ever be an advocate for shaitan." Says, already we fight shaitan at every angle to keep him away from us. When he knows he's not able to come around us, why would you open your ears and your heart and your mouth for shaitan to come close to us? In which now you want to open your mouth and talk to us, but it's not you. You want to use the doubt and the words of shaitan to talk to us? And that's where he said, "Shut up." Not to me but to the devil that you're going to now bring into our presence and start talking on his behalf, we are not interested. So it means don't be an advocate for shaitan. Don't take the whispers of shaitan and then now come out and try to ask about it, talk about it, act on it. He doesn't need an advocate. Your life was, a'udhu billah, not to represent him. Anytime you're going to say something questionable, bad or not correct, not right, you know it's a waswas, don't represent it. Don't let waswas now begin to keep appearing from your tongue, because now you are no longer representative of tariqah, you are representative of shaitan. And people saying, "Oh, it's okay if I come out and say it, I have to say it, it's in my heart." No, it's not in your heart, it's shaitan is in your heart. Why do you want to represent shaitan? You lose everything that was given from Rahman. Qul ja'al haq, Allah tell them when the truth comes, falsehood perishes. Falsehood by its nature zahuqan is crumbling, but you don't take falsehood and put it in a position number one and then put the truth in position number two. Our life is to continuously represent truth, pushing the devil down, pushing falsehood down, not trying to represent falsehood against the truth and then come back. So it means this is a great struggle in everything that we do, keeping the light, keeping the presence, keeping the meditation, keeping the tafakkur and keeping the devil away. And any situation then you're in, you have to be like the dog, take the rocks, take the argument, take this and be quiet. Stay quiet, make your salawats, go make wudu, go wash. And as a result of those whom are trained in patience, Allah says, "I will now raise you above the station of a dog." Because now you have patience and sabr. When the servant can't achieve sabr and patience, then they're less than a dog and they can't stand dogs. It's ironic how people who can't stand dogs they begin to have characters less than dogs, as if shaitan making them curse themselves. This dog is God's creation and very loyal. So our life is one, respect all creatures and animals, but to understand, oh we have a task to achieve, an immense task to achieve. With good character, all of our zikr, all of our actions, keep this beatific light around us and then open the realities of the cave with good character and good action. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammadan Mustafa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.